Good morning, everybody, and welcome to this. Good morning, everybody, and welcome to this webinar. Want to work smarter in Autodesk Revit. My name is Peter Tranberg, and I'm here with my colleague Chris. So first of all, we want to go through the house rules, where we want to tell you that the participants, all you participants, are muted. There's a Q&A panel where you can ask questions. Then we will return to the questions at the end of the webinar. And we want to tell you that the webinar is recorded and you will be able to come back and see it again. When the webinar is ending, there will be a short survey that we want to have you all filling out. So please do that after the webinar. So my name is Peter Tranberg. I'm the product owner of NTI for Revit and BIM specialist here in NTI. I'm trained as a carpenter and a bachelor in architectural technology and construction managing. And I'm placed in Denmark in NTI. And with me, I have Chris van der Vleut, who's a pre-sales consultant in AEC and Autodesk Construction Cloud, and ERP consultant, bachelor in architectural technology and construction managing. So Chris is going to run through the software and the benefits of using NTI for Revit, and I will just make the introduction here. So what is NTI and what do we do? Well, we are a leading full-service supplier of digital solutions for the construction, design, and manufacturing, media, and entertainment industries. And we are Autodesk Platinum partners, so we will say that you are in safe hands with us and our experts. We are at the time in 13 countries, but we see all of us as one team. We are all participating in great knowledge network with each other. We are more than 900 professionals in these 13 countries. So for us, no challenge is too small. We are proud to say that we help customers ranging from 1 to 1,000 employees. We have many customers and they stay with us for a long time while they evolve and grow. Our customers, oh, sorry, Chris, one time back here. We see that our customers are ambitious with a desire to succeed and innovate in a sustainable way. And with NTI for Revit in a daily use in more than 30 countries globally, we can help them. And we are supporting 6 local languages: English, Spanish, Italian, German, French, and Portuguese, Brazilian as the last language that we have put into the software. Yes. So why use NTI for Revit? First of all, our tagline is from 3D to BIM. So what we want to help you as customers with is to streamline the use of Revit and enhance workflows and optimize data quality and save time by tailoring it to real-world projects needs. Then we want to address that sometimes Revit cannot do something and we want to help you do things that Revit has a hard time to do. We want to help you automate repetitive processes like doing specific editing before printing, for instance. And we also want to help adapt Revit to better suit your local standards and requirements. Last but not least, we have added a functionality to integrate with the Autodesk Construction Cloud, letting you publish the file formats that you use into the Construction Cloud directly, including metadata, so that you can meet the requirements for instance, ISO 19650. And with that, over to you, Chris, and I hope you all will enjoy the presentation.
Yeah, thank you very much, Peter, for this introduction. Yeah, my name is Chris. I'm from the Netherlands. I will tell you something about the NTI for Revit functionalities. I will start first to give you an overview, what kind of tools do we have? And then I start with the challenges, what we see by our clients. And then how do we solve that kind of challenges with the NTI for Revit? In the end, I present what our other customers tell about the NTI for Revit, that they already use the NTI for Revit tools. And then Peter will give a short end on this webinar. I think it will take about a half hour, so just sit down and relax and enjoy this webinar. First, an overview of the NTI for Revit. We have over, I think, 100 functions on top of Revit. So it's an add-on or plugin, as how you call it, on top of Revit. It's not just on top on this place. Also, if you select a wall if you select the wall, you can also see what kind of tools can be used if you select a wall or another object in Revit. I will explain a little bit about that tools. So we have grouped the tools by different groups. So first we have some collaboration tools. Then you must think about to export data. Let's see, export PDFs, export an IFC file, or export an Excel file, or collaborate with the open standards of the, let's say, IFC and PCF. We have some tools to create views in sheets fully automatically. So we have a sheet wizard tool that creates a sheet by a template. I will talk about that a little bit more later. Or we have some tools to create revisions from sheet. We create views and sheets by room. So we have a lot of automation if you watch a little bit deeper in views and sheets. BIM is not only geometry, it's also data, and we have some really strong features if you watch a little bit deeper in the data in the parameters from Revit. Also, I think I touch most of these tools in my demonstration later. We have some tools in the automation group. You must think about creating legends fully automatically, or visualize data with a color composer. We have some management tools. We have some specific tools for architects, construction, and also for the MEP. Most of these tools are task related, and the strong feature on this tool is you can create your own workflows. So for example, maybe first you want to fill in some data before you create an IFC, because you don't want to forget to fill in the data. So this is a small overview of the NTI for Revit tools. First, start with the challenges, what we see in Revit. We have 3 groups: handling data, standardization in your own company or standardization in your project, and also to create your outputs. What we see in the construction companies is in the last 5 years, they collect 8 times more data. And if you compare it with other companies, they double it, so 2.5 times more average than other companies expect of the ASC. So that's a lot of data you collect. But the strange thing is we collect much more data, but 95.5% is not used of that data, and that has a reason. Mostly it's because it's not organized, it's not structured. And we lost over 88 billion euros in the construction part because of the data is not correct. But they have a good reason, because if you work on a project, you work not alone. Even if you work internally, you can see it also internally. You will step from design to plan to create it to operate it. And the thing you need to do is, even in your own internally, you need to create data. In every step, you will upstream more data and more data and more data. And then if you watch a little bit deeper in the challenges we see by our clients, is mostly they don't trust the data because it's not structured. It's also quite hard to reuse the data because we don't trust in it. And also it's quite hard to apply defined company standards. Even if you collaborate with your partners, it's also hard to say, okay, we need this data, but you probably you fill it in differently than we asking for it. Okay. How do we solve this kind of challenges with the NTI for Revit? I will show you a small demonstration. Firstly, we have different tools to fill in data. NTI for Revit is on top of Revit, and the first tool I will touch is the Excel tool. I will just tell about it. We can export schedules, we can import schedules, but even we can link, import, and export schedules. What does it mean? If you export a schedule and you import it again, they will tell you what the difference are between what you import and what you export. So that's a way to fill in data by using Excel. First, we will try to find some objects about data. We have to find the select tool. That's a way to tell you this. You will find and you will select objects by filters. Now, normally you will use Revit filters, but then you really need to create a lot of Revit filters. By our way, it's a really dynamic tool to just select categories, use filters on instance or type parameters, and you really fast select the objects you are looking for. So now I select all the walls and the doors, but I wanted to dive a little bit deeper. So we click on the zoom in elements. That's another tool in the NTI for Revit, and we try to find a specific object with specific data in my project. Sorry. So maybe I want to select one with the external painting. So that's a wall with external paint. I just select it and I know exactly which wall it is. So that's with a find and select in combination with the zoom element. It's a really good way to find and select elements. We have more tools to select elements, but this is a quite common one. So maybe we need to fill in some data. So I will try to find maybe a door, for instance. So I have a door. I don't know if it is a left door swing or a right door swing. Maybe I want to fill it in, and that's quite hard to fill it in by all the doors. So let's work with the door tool, and with the door tool, we can do it by one door, or we can also do it by all the doors to just fill in the door swing, the door type, the host wall. And if you look on the left side, on that part, you will see we fill in specific door data for 338 doors. You will see on the left side the NTI parameters will fill in. You can see it's a left door, it's internal door. The host width is 156, and his room association is from the A318. So that's a really good way to fill in data from the doors. And also I try to tweak it to mirror the door or to copy the door. And he never makes a mistake for that. But maybe I also want to see on which wall type is the door connected, because that can be I need to change the connection between the wall and the door. This information is already in my Revit project because I know which wall it's connected, but maybe I want to see it in the door. I use the parameter copy tool to copy data from an object to another object. So I say I will write the data to the wall type in my door, and I make a formula for that. How do we make a formula? I can grab data from the current object. So within the same object, I can get data from the host, I can get data from the project or from the room. I just copy data from an object to another object by a really strong formula. So now I get the wall type and I automatically fill it in the door. So I know exactly which connection I need to make for this door. So this is a really strong feature to fill in data. Maybe we will also want to fill in some general data. So maybe I want to know on which building wing is this wall located, because if I order this wall, I really need to know because we start on maybe the wing A and then we do wing B, because I want to know which wall is linked to which building wing. So here is, I'll create a mesh, and we can grab the data from the mesh and copy it to the objects that are included in the mesh. So I make a mesh from building wing A, and I make a mesh from building wing B. Now I say, okay, I create a task. There's also a task related function. And I will say, okay, in this task, I only want to write data back to the walls. I can do it with all the categories within the mesh. So now I just do it for the walls, but you can also do it for the doors or other things. I make a filter. I just want to do it for building wing A, and I want to grab the mark data from the mesh and write it to the wall and then to the parameter of building wing. It's a task related tool, so I can also automatically reuse it, or can make a work task with it. So now I write the data from the mesh with all the walls within the mesh, and then I write down the building wing. So I don't need to do it by manually. Now I select the wall, and I can see here there is some data written down, and then it's not. That's because I just filter it by building wing A, and this was building wing B. So now I select the wall on building wing A, and you can see here in building wing data is filling. So this is a really, really strong feature to filling some general data in your project, maybe by building number, maybe by level, maybe by room, or other things. We go a little bit deeper, because now I have here an external wall, and I want to fill in the assembly code, for example. But the assembly codes are maybe 2 digits, 4 digits, 6 digits, or maybe 8 digits. But I don't know what the digits are. So it's for me quite hard to fill in the right digit, and also for my colleagues, it's quite hard to fill it in. First, I use the find and select tool to just find and select all the external walls in my project. I make a search set for that, because I can also reuse my filters in this project. So I now have an overview of all my external walls. I select my element lookup function. With the element lookup, you will check what kind of parameters there are. And on the back, I create a table. And then in the table, I say, okay, for example, for assembly code, these are the codes. And now I can select just from a table what kind of data I want to fill in as type or instance parameter. So now I select the code for the assembly code, and I know exactly that that is right, because I select the right external walls, and I select the right code. So now I just fill it in for all the external walls, the right assembly code. You can see it here. You can also do it by instance, but I did it by type parameter. You can see here, I fill in the assembly code just by using the find and select tool and element lookup. But I know I fill it in. I can create a schedule to make an overview, but I can also color it for myself. This is also a task related tool. I just reuse it. I already create this task, and I just want to fill it in to color my object by override, to color it blue and yellow by the assembly codes. You can also do it by range. That's maybe from 10 to 12, 12 to 15, 15 to 20, for example. So I just colorize my building by the color composer. I did it by my 3D view. I can also do it by 2D view, but you can also do it automatically for all the 3D views and all the 2D views you create in your filter. So now I really fast visualize what kind of data is filling by my walls. I can also add a color legend in this for the sheet, so I know yellow is this code and blue is the other code. So now for this example, I try to find objects, I fill in data automatically, and I visualize data really by a standardized way. So to beat these challenges I spoke before. Let's jump to the standardization of the outputs. What we see by our clients is quite hard to create a sheet or legend. Mostly it's manually, and it costs a lot of time. It's a leak of standardization, because if I do it, maybe my colleague will do it in another way. So you collaborate in one project with different stakeholders, and then it's quite hard to work with the same standardization in the same outputs. Also, it's quite hard to if you change the sheet or if you change the legend, that the data on the sheet and the legend is correct. So maybe also that's the thing we see by our clients, that the data on the sheet is not corrected. Let's see, for a bill of material on the sheet. Let's see how we can do that with the NTI for Revit, because we have some tools, what I mentioned before, to create sheet and views and legends. Let's first start with a legend generator. Normally in Revit, you need to do it manually to create a legend, but we can do it from a task. In that task, we say what kind of legend we want to create. Let's say for a window, but I just want to have a window for the first floor because I also want to add this legend on my sheet from the first floor. I can create a schedule way or a report way. So schedule is under each other and report is next to each other. I select from which view I want to create this legend. And also I can add loadable families or system families. I can also add more families on the same legend. I select now for the windows, and I can also dive a little bit deeper to say, okay, I just want to have this windows and not the other one. I can also add some filters on it to maybe specify it a little bit more. Now I have selected just the windows from the first floor, and now I add the tags. So I want to count. So I want to know how many windows we have from different categories. Maybe I want to have the assembly code, for example, what we mentioned before. Maybe the frame depth. Yeah, let's say maybe the frame material. Maybe I want to add as well because I want to know what kind of material there are, and maybe also the height and the width. So I can also change the sortation of the tags, and I don't need to do it manually. It will do it fully automatically because it's a task, and I can also reuse the task. So now I have all the tags, and now I want to visualize the legend component. The legend component is the view. You can do it by view floor plan, 3D view, or the elevation back and front. And the good thing is on the elevation back and front, you can also add the dimension automatically in your legends. So that's a really strong feature within Revit. Now I say create, and it will take about, I think 30 seconds to create a window, especially in the filters I made for the first floor with this text, with this information. I want to add it in the legend. If you need to do it manually, I think it will cost you maybe 1-2 hours for each legend. And if you have like 10 legends for each project, it will cost you like 20 hours for each project to create the legend. And now we do it in 30 seconds, and it's also a task-related tool. You can also reuse this task, and also you can also put it in a workflow I will mention later. We're almost there. So we are 6 from 9, and then we have a beautiful legend created for my window. But you can also do it for your walls, for your MEP equipment, symbols. You can also do it for floors, and also the floor pattern. You can also add it in the legend. Almost finished. And then I have a good overview of my legend. There it is. Yeah, maybe I want to change the layout settings for a bit. So maybe I want to have the title, I want to have it in bold, or maybe I want to change something. And you can see here the dimension is also there, and my project is in inches, but you can do it also in millimeters, of course. And you can see here all the tags are automatically added in my legend. So for now, I can also say, okay, maybe I want to change the text type, or maybe I want to the title, maybe I want to have it bold. And here are the text types you can also use with an update. And okay, so you can also reuse this task in your project. And now here it is. I create a legend in like 30 seconds. but maybe I also I fill in some data, I create a legend. Now I start to create some sheets. With our tools, we can do it by a template, so you don't need to add all the sheets already in your Revit template. You just add a sheet template, and that's your base. And then I will say, okay, in my Revit template, I have a floor plan, I have some legends, and I have the title block in my sheet. And then I say, okay, I create new views, and then at that moment, I want to create new sheets based on the template I created. The good thing is that he recognizes what kind of views are located on the template. So you can see there are floor plans, there are 3 legends on it, and now I can say, okay, what need to be the number of the sheet I will create it. So let's say 4, and it starts by 100. And then I say, okay. And by name, you can also fully automatically do that to maybe fill in the name of the view that is located on the sheet. So I can say here, just take my floor plan because I know that the names are correct. And now I just need to click on plus, and he will watch what the first sheet that is available, or first view that is available as a floor plan in my sheet. So the first one was the overall lift safety, and then I can just click next, 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 and you just create more and more sheets. And also I can change it a bit. Maybe I want to add a different legend, and here we are. There's my window legend I want to add on my sheet. That was for my first floor plan. And here I will select my window, and I hope it fits on my sheet. And I say, okay, and now I will create 4 sheets that are based on my template. And I know it's standardized, I know it's correct. Even if you change your template laterly, you can also update also the sheets you created from the specific template. And this will take 10 seconds to create 4 sheets from our template. So it also goes quite fast. And there we are. Almost ready. Look, there you are. So now I create 4 new sheets that are based on my template. I will select that sheet, how it looks. So I select one, and you see it is based on my template with the same title block, the same legend, and also the view that was located in my template, but then the view that I selected in my template. Here we are, the view with the the legend I created, so the window legend, and I see that it fits pretty much, but for this demonstration, I will just leave it by this, because you can see it's really, really strong feature to automate the even the sheet and also the legend I just created from the legend view. That sheet has some parameters, of course, so I can change that parameters for every sheet, but that's also manually tasked. So I changed the draw by, check by, design by, approve by. It's also quite hard to fill it in for every sheet. So maybe we can create a task for that. And of course, in the NTI for Revit, we have a task to do that automatically in one overview. So also you don't need to do it by hand, one by one. I will show you how to do that. Go to the NTI for Revit, and then I select sheet, and then edit sheet properties. With the edit sheet properties, we will get an overview of all the sheets that are located in my project, and I can just select multiple lines, and within the multiple lines, I can fill in automatically all the data I want to fill in. So that's a really strong way to fill in data by one. So I select the 4 created sheets, and I can just say, okay, the approval was Colin, for example. He was checked. Oh, I need to select it again. He was checked by Henk. That's a common name in the Netherlands. Peter as well. And also it was drawn by myself, by Chris. Now I can just select a sheet to control it, but you can see it's filling automatically correctly for 4 sheets by 1. We have more tools to do something with sheets. That's the add the update scale. And what that tool do is he will check what kind of view is on the sheet, what is the scale on that view, and also he will write the scale to the title block. We have some tool also with revision. You can select an object, and that object he will check on which sheet is this object related. And if he is related, maybe you want to fill in a cloud on that object, and also you want to maybe create a new parameter in the title block from the revision. And we have some more tools to create a view by room or sheet by room, or maybe we can do it by room, by spaces, by area. And also we have some more tools in the NTI for Revit. If you want to know a little bit more, we have a lot, so we don't have enough time to tell you to show you every tool. So let's jump to the next challenge we see by our clients. So now we did something with data, fill in data, that we create sheets, we create legends, and now we need to export this documentation, maybe by PDF, maybe by IFC, but now we need to collaborate, so we need to export it. What we see that is really time consuming to publish data from Revit. Let's say a schedule, let's say a PDF, let's say an IFC. So it's a manually task. So you need all the time you need to say, I want to create a PDF. I want to select the location where I want to export it. I want to select the name. Maybe you want to work with name standards, and that's a really manually task. It's time consuming. Even maybe you want to create an IFC with a schedule in the same time. So that's also quite hard. Or maybe you also need to fill in some metadata in SharePoint or in Autodesk Construction Cloud. So you need all the time, you need to fill in the attributes. Maybe people here in this webinar already work with Autodesk Docs. So you know that Autodesk Docs, you can label your document with attributes. It's also manually task and also time consuming to do that. How do we do that within the NTI for Revit? I will show you. So we go to the publish task and we will say, okay, we will create a PDF, the DWG or IFC, or we have more file formats. So for this example, I will show you a 3D and I will create automatically a PDF in an IFC. So here are my 4 PDF files with all the metadata I fill in my title block. Now I want to export this specific PDF to a specific location. The good thing on our tool is it's task related. So you can also reuse that task, and also you can also combine the task together. So now I create a new task. You can see how fast that goes. So this is an example. For this webinar, I select the sheets for this webinar. The sheets are the 4 sheets I just created. You need to do it by once. This is a task related tool. So I just show you how to create a new task. And then I say, okay, what need to be the name of the PDFs I will export it. So you can also select multiple sheet parameters, project parameters, view parameters to create your name standard. For now, I will just say, okay, I will say the sheet number. Where do we need to export it? To Autodesk Docs, maybe to your file server, or maybe to SharePoint. It's also, you can just put it in the task. You don't need to think about it. And for now, for this example, I will export it to the Autodesk Construction Cloud, Autodesk Docs. The good thing is you can also export metadata. Now I export the parameters for my sheet and also fill in automatically the attributes in the Autodesk Construction Cloud. This is a really unique feature, and I didn't see it anywhere else by our competitors. Now I export this PDF, 4 PDFs to the Autodesk Construction Cloud. Jump to the Autodesk Construction Cloud. You can see the folder, and you can already see the first documents are publishing to this location. I fill in automatically the drawing number, the scale, the draw by, the control by. So you can all automatically fill in a lot of labels, a lot of metadata, a lot of attributes within the Autodesk Construction Cloud, fully automatically, task related. The good thing is if you change something, you can just re-export the same task. You can see here, this is my beautiful sheet with the schedule. It doesn't fit, but it's an example to the Autodesk Construction Cloud. This was for PDF. We can do the same for IFC files. So now I have a 3D view. Exactly the same. Go to IFC is task related. So for now, I already create a task. I already say what need to be the name of the task. I can also add a lot of extra text. I will say where I need to export it to Autodesk Docs, to SharePoint, to the folder. And after that, I will select what kind of views I want to export it. You can also select multiple IFC files. So you can do maybe 10 IFC files in one. So I know to create an IFC file, it takes a lot of time. So if you do it 10 IFC files, you can grab a cup of coffee, but you can just wait and you know the task will do the work for you. So for now, for this example, I will just select a small IFC file for this example. And I will say I save it and I will publish it. If you save it, you save the task. If you publish it, you publish it to the location you mention in your task. Jump back to the IFC, to the Autodesk Construction Cloud, and you will see this file, this IFC from this location with this name will automatically send it to the Autodesk Construction Cloud with metadata. So that's also really, really strong and good feature. So you can see the version 2 is changing, and it's create also the task and some metadata in the task. Then I already mentioned many times that many tools are task related. So maybe before we send an IFC or create an IFC or create a PDF, maybe we need to fill in some data that I mentioned before. Maybe we need to fill in the door tool to fill in some door data. Maybe we want to fill in some building wing data, for example. So I can use the element relation tool. Maybe first we need to fill in some with the parameter copy tool what need to be the wall from the door that is connected. So I can automatically create a workflow before you create your outputs. Or maybe you want to update the scale of your sheet, or maybe you want to colorize your object before you send it, so that you don't need to create view templates for every for every color you want to add. So now I have to create a task, and I can just click on the task, and then he do automatically all the work for me in NTI for Revit. So that's also a really strong feature if you work with these tools. So that was the challenges in the demonstration I want to show you. What do others say about the tools? We have some we did some reviews. This was an engineers company that work with our tools. They just work now because you don't need to work with all 100 features, of course. They say, okay, if we start to work with NTI for Revit and to work with the sheet wizard I showed, the legend tool, the publish tools, and the find and select tool. So that's a little, it's a little, they don't use every tools, but they save over 150 engineering hours a year with just 3 engineers. So 50 hours for each engineer. They have more time to add more quality in the model. Also, we did a review by an architect firm, and they say with the sheet wizard and the publish fiction, with the sheet wizard goes 2 to 3 times faster than standard Revit, and also with the publish tools it goes also 2 times faster than standard Revit. And even if that doesn't only go faster, also you know that the quality is right, because you can create workflows, it's task related, the names are correct, so you don't need to think about it, you can just publish it. And then I say, by using the NTI for Revit, we have more time to do the real work. This was my demonstration, And now I hand over to Peter.
Yes, I'm back. And thank you, Chris. It was great to see the presentation. So what we have seen a lot of functionalities about handling data. It was great way to put in data, to fill in the correct data. And that also leads to the standardization of outputs. So here you can actually put in your standards and make it all work. I have to say here that some of the questions we have got and we have answered in the chat, sorry, in the questions panel, has been a lot of questions about the tasks, if it's possible to reuse, and that's actually talking directly into standardization. So you can standardize your tasks, and then you can export them into. It is actually an XML file, but it is called an NTI file. And that file can then be imported into your projects, or if you make something great in one project, you can add it to your template and reuse it every time that you start a project. So, and also about the export PDF and IFC, the thing here is really, really important that you can reuse these tasks. Of course, you can export PDFs and IFC files with Revit by itself, but the workflows that we build in is really, really important, where we have these tasks that are saved, so you don't have to select each and every time which sheet sets should go with which export setup. And also with IFC files, when you export IFC files, you always have to make sure that the location of the resulting file, you have to adjust that all the time, and also the naming. So really, really great functionalities, and thanks for that. So about the questions we have had, we have had some questions about if we could show some MEP examples, and that's typically that we get this question. We have some MEP functionality to create data on objects like accessories, so we can move data from spaces to accessories, so the relationships can be put in when we want to identify accessories like fire dampers or stuff like that, where that's important for the maintenance part at the end of the building project. And also when we want to split systems by masses, it's possible to create masses like Chris did with the element relation. We can use these to split the systems, the ducts and the pipes and the cable trays, specifically to edges of masses. And also a thing to talk about here is the component level fix, where we can fix the level reference of components. If you look back in your MEP work, sometimes if you work from an elevation or a section, the elements can be associated to the wrong levels, and that can be fixed automatically with that simple function. But they are very specific, and you can always reach out to us, as we say here, to contact us, and we can help you do things here. I think that's, yeah, most of the questions were like, can we import and export these different tasks that Chris made with, for instance, the legend generator, the parameter copy, element relation, and that's the question is yes, you can import and export both the individual tasks, but also the task workflows. Another question was, can I populate 3 floor plans with the sheet wizard? Yes, you can add all the different view types that you want, and multiple view types, like the example shown by Chris. It was 3 legends that can also be 3 different floor plans. And even here, you can also go in and make some settings to match properties, like for instance, the crop region or the the different values. Chris were showing us how to use the edit sheet properties to assign different values to the drawn by, the checked by, and so on. That can also be matched directly when using the sheet wizard. So a little bit there. A question was about the task profile. The tasks, are they saved in the user profile or the project? They are always saved in the project. That's why we can collaborate with the export import functionality. Yeah, and there was a question about if we could schedule these things. Unfortunately not. We don't have a scheduling feature, and then we are currently somebody is using the Magicat IFC exporter. If it's possible to export through NTI tools or NTI for Revit. Well, if you can make the setup with property sets and all that in the Autodesk open source exporter, you can of course use NTI for Revit IFC export, as we use exactly that engine to make our exports. I think that's it for the questions. So if you have other questions, please reach out to us. You can contact your NTI contact person for further information. So if you want to talk with us, maybe you can tell us what your organization would like to use, and we can help you do these workflows that challenge you. And even show more useful features, and we're happy to help you. Yeah, next slide.
That's it, Peter.
That's it. Thank you for your attention, and thank you, Chris.
You're welcome. Yeah, for us, it is also quite hard to find the perfect workflow that everybody uses. So if you want to see your own workflow in your own company with your own challenges, just contact us or contact your NTI contact person, and they will show you exactly the workflow with the challenges you are, how we solve it with NTI for Revit.
Exactly. And these, most of these were actually general functionalities. We have, like I told about the MEP, also some very specific tools for the architect and also for structural engineering, especially about rebars. So reach out and we will help you. Sure. So thank you.
Thank you very much.
And have a nice day.
Have a nice day.